President Natasha Irsi Musa from Slovenia, our special guest in this 62nd Madaraka Day here in Homabay. Your Excellencies, honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the great people of Homabay and Kenya, hamjambo. Homabay hoye. Amoso jodurwa. Jodurwa untie. Jodurwa umor. Jodurwa oil. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Asanteni sana. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense joy to be back in this county of limitless potential, Homabay. It has been 62 eventful years since we took this historic step towards full independence through our hard work, determination, and self-belief. We have defied odds, surmounted challenges, triumphed over adversity, and emerged as a modern democratic state whose government and economy are energized by the restless ambition of confident citizens. Our forefathers knew, as we do, that we, the people, are the foundation, the pillars, and the engine of this nation, and that only we can do the work of building the Kenya we want. More critically, we understand keenly that this country is our home and we have no other. This is why wherever they go all over the world, Kenyans never forget their homeland and vigorously contribute to nation building. We are acutely aware that although we have given a decent account of ourselves since the first Madaraka Day, we are quite far from where we ought to have reached. It is time for us to reflect on the state of our collective self-belief as a people, because without it, we lose all the opportunities that come with Madaraka. We all know that Kenya is not short of imaginative strategies and bold visions. In fact, so good are some of our plans that other countries have successfully implemented them and achieved impressive progress. Our biggest problem has always been one of implementation and execution. The faith to believe in our plans for change, the courage to execute, and the patience and focus to get it done. Some do not believe that we deserve the good that comes with positive change. Others think we are too poor or even in the wrong part of the world. Yet still, others do not want to see changes that benefit ordinary people or make life better for everyone. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to persuade the doubters that no one else is going to bring change except us, and that the only way to build the Kenya we want is by embracing change, however uncomfortable it may seem at first, and that we must possess the self-belief individually and collectively to approach our tasks boldly, confidently, and with determination in order to deliver new, more and better, sooner rather than later. Ladies and gentlemen, over 2.5 years ago, we embarked on an ambitious journey of national renewal powered by the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and rooted in the will and sovereign consent of the people of Kenya. Bottom-up is not just a mere slogan. Today, it is a lived reality for millions of Kenyans, transforming lives and reshaping destinies across the country day by day. This agenda is the expression of a deeper yearning among Kenyans to take control of their own fate and break free from a long history of hopelessness, dependence, and exclusion. This renewal of our commitment to deliver on the fundamental mandate of Madaraka is inspired by the enduring spirit of self-determination through which we vow to give ourselves not only what was denied us during colonialism, but also what every citizen and every human being deserves. That is liberty, dignity, security, and opportunity. Madaraka affirms our collective faith, shared across generations of Kenyan patriots, that through hard work, innovation, and resilience, our farmers, traders, young people, workers, and professionals will rise to the occasion. With the strength of our imagination and effort, we can and must transform this nation with the imagination of our own minds and the work of our own hands. I speak to you today with a deep conviction that our country is firmly on the path to stability and progress. We have weathered turbulent times, navigated serious challenges, and through courage, policy decisions pursued with resolve, we have not only stabilized our economy, but also charted a clear course to long-term prosperity. Since August 2022, Kenya has recorded an average annual growth of an average of 5%, outperforming the global average of 3.3% and the regional average of 3.8%. Just last month, the International Monetary Fund projected our GDP to reach US dollars 132 billion. That is 17 trillion Kenya shillings, making us the largest economy in our region and the 6th largest economy in our continent. At the same time, inflation has declined sharply from 9.6% in October 2022 to 3.8% in May this year, well below our target of 5% and bringing welcome relief to households and businesses. This reflects the strength of our economic fundamentals and the impact of our bold reforms. During the same period, the shilling appreciated by nearly 20% against the US dollar, from Kenya shillings 162 to Kenya shillings 129, making it one of the best performing currencies in the world. The central bank rate has decreased from 13 to 10%, lowering the cost of borrowing and spurring private sector activity. Additionally, our foreign exchange reserves now stand at US dollars 10 billion, extending our import cover from 2.5 to 4 months. Ladies and gentlemen, the affordable housing program stands as a powerful symbol of the socio-economic transformation underway across Kenya. Last week, I had the privilege of handing over keys to the first 1,080 social housing units in the new Mukuru estate in Nairobi. As I said then, while it was a life-changing moment for the new homeowners, it was equally one of the most profound and consequential days in my political career to witness how a deliberate government policy can uplift lives, restore dignity, and offer hope to communities that have long lived on the margins of our society. Vulnerable, forgotten, and neglected. It also marked a proud milestone for Kenya and demonstrated that ambitious national programs can be successfully implemented to deliver tangible benefits to ordinary citizens and fundamentally reshape our understanding of meaningful change. To see families move from the hardship of overcrowded slums to the relative comfort of permanent homes, complete with electricity, running water, and clean cooking gas, was a powerful reminder of what pro-people policies can deliver and the great things we can achieve together when we focus our thoughts and energy on possibilities and action rather than obstacles and doubt. A little over 2 years ago, many were skeptical when we said that ordinary Kenyans can begin owning homes through a rent-to-own model using the same amount they pay in rent. Today, that bold promise is being fulfilled. We saw the joy of Jerusha Mudhoni, a mother of 3, grandmother of 4, and second-hand clothes trader from Mukuru kwa Ruben as she stepped into her new home. Here in Homabay County, the county of limitless opportunities, just 2 days ago, I had the pleasure of handing over keys to the first occupants of 110 affordable housing units at Boma Yangu Housing Estate right here in Homabay. Among the new proud homeowners, some of whom are with us here today, were Kennedy Otieno Odede, a border writer, Helen Atieno Osala, a mama samaki at the new modern fish market here in Homabay, Geoffrey Othiambo Nyasuda, a Jua Kali fabricator, and Vincent Ocheng Onyango, a security guard. The journeys of new homeowners like Jerusha Mudhoni in Mukuru, Kennedy Odede here in Homabay, and thousands of others across the country, from the dehumanizing squalor of informal settlements to the security and pride of permanent homes, stand as a powerful testament to the transformative promise of bottom-up empowerment. They prove that with vision and resolve, courage and conviction, we can lift even the most forgotten among us into lives of dignity, hope, and limitless possibility. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't understand what we meant by bottom-up, now you do. If you didn't believe, now you believe. And if you thought it was a fantasy, as contributors to the housing levy, you are now witnessing and making history that will be remembered for generations to come in the history of Kenya. We are firmly on course to delivering 150,000 housing units under the Affordable Housing Program, which have been under construction since September 2022, with 11,000 units already available for occupation. Very soon, I shall be handing over keys to new homeowners in Bahati in Nakuru, in Elbakon in Nakuru, in Mabera in Kuria West, in Mgwen in Nandi, in Milimani in Kakamega, and also in Vihiga counties, Nanyuki, and many others across the country. The bottom-up transformation is reaching every corner of Kenya, leaving no one behind. Beyond providing dignified shelter, this transformative program is driving job creation, having already generated over 250,000 jobs. It is nothing short of a nation-building revolution, uplifting lives, growing businesses, and redefining the future of work and urban living in Kenya. Fellow Kenyans, in recognition and appreciation of the sacrifice made by patriotic Kenyans through their contributions to the housing levy, I am pleased to announce today that we shall be proposing to Parliament a reform to the law that will allow any contributor to access an affordable home loan of up to 5 million shillings at a single-digit interest rate, applicable towards any housing unit in the market. This facility will also enable contributors to offset existing mortgages, offering greater flexibility in their housing journey and allowing many to significantly ease their home financing costs. These reforms will ensure that every shilling contributed to the housing levy works for the contributor, whether through access to affordable housing, home loans, or mortgage relief. Ladies and gentlemen, word is beginning to get out throughout the nation that SHA is working, by which citizens mean that the transition challenges and teething problems are now behind us, and universal health coverage is now serving Kenyans and leaving no one behind. Since the rollout of Taifa Care in October 2024, 23 million Kenyans have so far registered with the Social Health Authority, a resounding vote of confidence in our reformed healthcare model. We are now recording an average of 50,000 new registrations every day, a clear testament to the fact that Kenyans have embraced a system designed to guarantee access to quality, affordable, and dignified healthcare for all of us. In just 8 months, SHA has disbursed Kenya shillings 43 billion in claims to facilities, with 4.5 million Kenyans having received treatment fully covered by SHA since its inception. For the first time in Kenya's history, under SHA, citizens can access free emergency services in all facilities funded by the government through the Emergency Critical and Chronic Illness Fund. This groundbreaking reform is eliminating the burden of mandatory deposits demanded by hospitals, especially during emergencies. To sustain this momentum, the government has allocated sufficient resources to fully fund primary healthcare services. Every registered Kenyan can now access care in public and SHA-contracted facilities at no cost. Taifa Care is universal in both word and deed. These healthcare services deliver transformation goes beyond the magnitude of numbers or of new beneficiaries to real impact on citizens. SHA is settling payments promptly, ensuring that no Kenyan is turned away due to lack of funds. Additionally, to expand access to comprehensive inpatient care, the Social Health Authority is prioritizing the enrollment of all Kenyans with a particular focus on those in the informal sector, many of whom were previously excluded under the now defunct National Health Insurance Fund. Although informal households account for approximately 80% of the population, they have historically faced significant barriers to access health insurance. So far, 1.7 million informal sector households have successfully enrolled and paid for social health insurance, a record achievement representing the highest number of informal sector enrollment in a single year in the history of Kenya. To address persistent challenges such as irregular premiums and other contributions among informal sector workers, we are introducing an innovative and inclusive payment solution called Lipa SHA Pole Pole or Lipa SHA Mos Mos. This initiative enables Kenyans to remit their annual SHA contributions through flexible, manageable installments, whether monthly, weekly, or even daily, based on their financial ability. It ensures families maintain continuous health coverage without financial strain, while simultaneously promoting the sustainability of the health insurance fund. Lipa SHA Pole Pole has been made possible through a strategic partnership between the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs, mobile network operators, and financial institutions through the Hustler Fund. The system is simple and accessible to citizens. Citizens can dial *147# and follow the prompts to enroll and begin their contributions immediately. Enhancing access to health insurance, we have prioritized the availability of essential medical equipment in public health facilities. Moving away from the previous managed equipment services model, which placed maintenance and service delivery responsibilities solely on county governments. We have adopted a more efficient approach under the National Equipment Supply Program. Under this new model, the national government, working in collaboration with county governments, engages directly with equipment manufacturers and suppliers to deploy critical medical equipment based on county-specific needs. Payments are made on a fee-for-service basis aligned with the gazetted SHA tariffs. This output-based financing mechanism ensures that facilities are reimbursed only for actual services rendered, thereby enhancing accountability and guaranteeing the availability, functionality, and quality of medical services across public health institutions in our republic. I urge every Kenyan to take charge of their health by enrolling with the Social Health Authority so that together we can end the heartbreaking cycle where families are forced to auction their livestock, sell their land, or part with their life's possessions just to afford medical care. No Kenyan should choose between life-saving treatment and their dignity. Let us unite to build a healthcare system rooted in dignity, equality, and compassion. A system where access to care is a right, not a privilege for a few. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me, fellow Kenyans, that the remarkable progress we are making in both affordable housing and Taifa Care has been made possible by the solidarity, trust, and commitment with which Kenyans have participated in and contributed to the realization of radical positive change on an unprecedented scale. The evidence before us of real progress with real impact on people's lives should encourage and inspire us to do even more, together with greater confidence, and to turn Kenya into the country we all aspire to belong. I extend my deepest gratitude to millions whose housing levy contributions are restoring dignity to fellow citizens who may never have had a dream of owning a decent home. I also thank all who support SHA and are helping us turn our vision of universal health coverage into a lived reality for millions across our country. Ladies and gentlemen, through strategic investments in agriculture, we are accelerating both growth and resilience in the sector. Fertilizer subsidies have boosted food production by 50%, while reforms in the coffee and sugar sectors have revived local industries, enhanced farmers' incomes, created jobs, and reinvigorated rural economies. Today, milk farmers are earning an average of 50 shillings per litre, up from 35 shillings 2 years ago. Coffee farmers are now earning up to 150 shillings per kilo, a remarkable increase from an average of 65 2 years ago. Tea earnings rose from Kenya shillings 138 billion in 2022 to 215 billion in 2024. Sugar production surged from 490,000 metric tons in 2023 to 815,000 metric tons in 2024, enabling us to reduce sugar imports by 70%, while increasing farmers' earnings from 50 billion to 90 billion. We have intervened with consistency and focus to ensure sugarcane growers receive fair returns for their deliveries and that they get paid in full and on time. To anchor these gains sustainably, we must recognize that increasing the efficiency of milling plants is central to farmers' interest. Efficient mills are more profitable and offer farmers optimal returns. Conversely, outdated mills, some of which run on plants that are over 50 years old, recover only 1 ton of sugar from nearly 20 tons of cane, shortchanging our growers and robbing them of their sweat. In this connection, the recent competitive leasing of 4 state-owned factories, Nzoia, Chemelil, Sony, and Moroni, is another strategic step to inject efficiency, restore profitability, and safeguard farmers' livelihoods. Our goal is to modernize the mills, ensure prompt payment to farmers, workers' salaries and wages, and transform these once struggling factories into productive and sustainable enterprises. For years, these factories were a financial burden on the exchequer, surviving only on repeated taxpayer-funded bailouts while failing to pay farmers and workers. The government of Kenya has acknowledged its limitation in managing these mills. Let it be clearly understood that neither the factories nor their assets, including land, have been sold. They remain public property, leased under strict terms to private sector players to deliver shared value and revive the industry for the benefit of farmers, workers, communities, the sector, and the nation.